Listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. I say horrible things sometimes because I think they're funny. My podcast is a verbal mosh pit because it's just me pinwheeling around. You don't know where the fuck I'm going to wind up, and I generally have no idea when it's going to end or start. I'm responsible for this whole goddamn thing. I want a little respect from you people. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Folks, look, I know the show is about this kind of stuff every week. I understand. But I have to talk. I got to talk about it. I have to tell you about it, all right? I mean, I don't want to be pigeonholed as that idiot. I don't want to be, Rage Johnson and his band of fucking yellers. I don't want to be that guy. But things happen and they have to be discussed. And unfortunately, things just happened and they have to be fucking discussed. And I don't groan at me. Don't be groaning. Why are you groaning? It's not your job to groan. Your job is to stand there with the legal pad and pretend you like the show. Folks, our friend Lily Bunchtup is here, and I'm late, I will tell you that. I was supposed to be here at 4 o'clock, but unfortunately things have gone awry, and I'm here at 5:15. Actually, I get here about a half hour ago, and then Lily and I have our little decompression, and we sit down and we talk about the week. And Lily's got her new burlesque show, which kicked ass over the weekend. My wife wound up going to that and had a great time. I unfortunately could not attend because I'm a dick. That's exactly the reason I gave, too. Boy, that does not look good on RSVP for a wedding invitation or a burlesque show, I'll tell you that. will not be attending because I'm a dick. There you go. Take that to heart. I can't even lie. I'm not having a fucking bowl of soup with a friend. No, I am just a jagoff, and I cannot attend your show. Folks. I don't. It's so funny because it's like I don't. All right, here's what happened. So I'm coming to Lily's house. I'm supposed to be here at 4 o'clock, as I've mentioned, and this is the way the world works. If I had gotten out of my house on time. If I had left my house at 3:45 and then been able to get here, by 4 o'clock, that means I wouldn't have been on the 101 and then I wouldn't have been on Highland, and the things that I'm about to tell you would not have fucking happened. But because I was a little late and unfortunately my life was pushed back a little bit, to come to Lily's house, I had to take the 101, which is main thoroughfare here in Hollywood. And then you get off at Highland, and then I will not give you the super secret directions to her house. But I can tell you, if you watch the YouTube videos, you can see the rooftop I was on. You can look at the surrounding buildings. You can understand where you might need to make a turn or two. So, I take the 101, and everything's fine. I'm flying down the 101. Things are good. It's the highway, and the Beach Boys are cranking. No, they're not. That's like every bad movie in the world. Like every bad movie about California in the 60s, you're like, I've got a Grammy, and I'm listening to them sing about Surf City. That's what would be happening. Instead, no, I'm in my Murano, and I'm looking at my fucking Donald Trump hair, wondering why I don't cut it off. It's horrible, folks. I have Donald Trump's haircut, and it won't go away because it's thick. Because I'll wash my hair, and then here's what I've gotten into. I bought a brush. I should have never bought a brush, folks. Why did I buy a brush? Because I was like, well, I got like that weird bedhead all the time, and I'm keeping my hair long, so I'm like, well, I'll just like Pat Riley it and then let it dry and then fluff it with my fingers. Well, again, you don't need to know my hair extravaganza. Listen, folks, get a pen. Here's what I do. Here's the Mike Schmidt hair care system. I'm that fat little friend of Cher's who's on in the middle of the night. You ever see that lady? What's her name? I can't remember her name. Marquesian? I don't fucking know. No, that's Cher's real name, Marquesian. I got to get that out of my brain. All right. Cher, boy, she's still alive, yes? Yeah, she's alive.
She's in a wonderfully bad film coming up.
She's in a movie? Have they developed technology that makes her face move? Is it like stop-action animation? Because Cher got her face frozen.
Cher's in Burlesque.
Oh, she's in the Burlesque movie. Oh, okay. Well, then that's why they can explain it. They can say she's like in a costume the entire time or wearing like a sarcophagus mask because Jesus Christ, Cher's face is just it doesn't. Yeah, it's like I would cast her in like the Fantastic Mr. Fox, like those kind of movies, because she looks like a living cartoon character, and like a China doll Cupid face. All right. What a weird life that is. Married to Sonny Bono, you got a daughter who became a dude, and then you got an Oscar. I mean, I think my life is ridiculous, and I tell you stories about it here on the show, and then you hear about you see these actors and these actresses, and you're like, Jesus Christ! I mean, it's like Julia Roberts is on my TV all the time now, and The thing is, she's promoting Eat, Pray, Love, which is her new movie. One of those I'm clearly in favor of. But she's doing this promotional tour. And look, full disclosure, I'm going to go ahead and lay this on the table for you folks. I'm not a Julia Roberts guy. I've never been a fan of the talking horse, so I don't understand why. I didn't like Mr. Ed either, so I don't understand the appeal of a Julia Roberts. But that's fine. And just, you add in that weird, oh, isn't she beautiful for a woman who's not beautiful? So you got all that weird mix in the cocktail. But then you lump in like a shot, like it's like a Boilermaker. Okay, you got a tall, frosty stein of, hey, she's not that good looking, but everybody thinks she is. And right next to it, you got a shot glass of, oh, and she's a pretentious whore. That's not good. I almost said something else, and I did not, because that's not a word I use in pleasant company, polite company. She's not even a whore. She's not. That's mean. I want to cut that out. Can we cut that out? No. God damn it. That's not. She's not a whore. All right, I take that back.
Is
that's not. Huh?
Is she whore-like?
She's not whore-like at all. She's just pretentious and smug, and I'm. Come on, I'm better than you, and I know it, and that kind of thing. So I take back the whore thing. Whore's off the table, folks. That's not good. So now your Boilermaker is a big. You know what? I'm eating a huge bowl of I'm sorry. So we've got a complete meal here. I've got a huge bowl of I'm sorry, Julia Roberts, you're not a whore, coupled with a frosty stein of she's not that good looking, but everybody thinks she is, and we'll get a little shot glass of smug I'm better than you. That's what it is. All right, so there you go. And oh my God, am I full. So I'm not a Julia Roberts guy, but then she's got this movie coming out, and so on top of the fact that I don't enjoy her as a movie star, I'm not a fan of her as a person or a personality, not even as a person. Again, I know nothing about her. All I know is the public image that she portrays, but unfortunately she's decided to portray this smug, I'm better than you. Like, she's the living embodiment of Robert Conrad saying, hey, knock this battery off my shoulder, I bet you can't do it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what she looks like. She's just constantly flaunting her life. But she's not. I mean, dude, if you got a great life, live it. That's fine. I just, whatever. So, again, she comes out now about Eat, Pray, Love, and she's doing all those tricks now where she talks quietly, like she's learned something. Oh, come on. You're an actress. Jesus God, you're an actress. You made a movie about some fluff books that some woman wrote that people found some weird, deep. Well, you might as well have made the movie The Secret. I mean, honestly, just, I don't get it. All right. But now she's like a Hindu. Did you see that? She's talking about how she's a Hindu and she's fully embraced the lifestyle. And she's like, yes, me, and not only me, but my husband and kids have embraced the lifestyle. Well, of course they have, Gravy Train. What the fuck are they going to do? If you told them you were a goddamn snake charmer, they'd be like, all right, where's the Cobra? Let's do it. You got a paycheck for me? I'm in. The kids have no choice. I should just, the husband is the one who's going along for it. That guy, wasn't he? He was like a photographer or a cue card man. I don't know. Well, how did they fucking marry these people? All of a sudden, you know why? Because then they can tell them what to do. That's what it is. It's like he's a teacup poodle, but he's got a cock. That's what he is. That's all he is. He's a teacup poodle she can fuck. Because that's what it is. It's like an accessory. She's like, oh, who's that grip over there with his rough hands? I think I'll marry him and make him do what I want him to do. God damn it. Come on, Grip. And you can't, if I'm the Grip, fuck that. I dive right into famous pussy. How do you not? You can't, what, I got to put down the cue cards and go ahead and fuck Julia Roberts? Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I don't fucking care. I'm in. I like her more than I like holding up words with letters on them. Let's go. Cards with words on them. Words with letters on them. Stupid. Dumb. Yeah, words with letters. Why not? So you can't blame Teamster for jumping on fucking famous actress Gravy Train. And then she's a Hindu. He's like, fuck yeah, I'm in. What do they do? They eat egg rolls? What do I do for that? I'm on board. There's no way this guy's studying the fucking Hindran. What do they read? It's like the Koran, but for Hindus. I don't know what the Hindus have. What do they have? Scrolls? I don't know what you people have. I apologize. Look, I don't mean to offend Hindus. I understand there's a lot of you. But I just don't know what you read. See, again, because we're inundated here with the Bible. It's like, look, I know what the New York Times is, but I couldn't tell you what the paper is in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Sorry. So that's what Hindu is. Hinduism is Sioux Falls, South Dakota, compared to Christianity's New York. I'm gonna get shot. I'm gonna get fucking shot. I don't even have to use guns. What do Hindus have? A blowgun? That's what's gonna happen. Some fucking yogi's gonna scale your building and blow a blow dart into my neck. Knock me the fuck out. I'm gonna wake up in an elephant pen in Bangladesh. God damn it, I'm gonna get killed. All right. I apologize, Hindus. Let me throw that on the table for you. What am I supposed to do? Proselytize myself? Am I supposed to bow toward, they don't have Mecca. What do they have? I don't know who they have. What do you have? There's a guy. Hindu's a guy, right? He's like a dude.
I'm not
Hindu's a religion, but I think there's like, is there a guy who runs it?
It's not Hindu, I can tell you.
Yeah, it's not his name? All right. Is it Vishnu or that guy?
Yeah, it's Vishnu.
All right, it's Vishnu and the other guy, Gilgamesh. I don't know. Gamera. That's it. They worship They worship a giant radioactive monster turtle that fought Godzilla. Hindus worship Gamera. That's exactly it. Oh Christ! Keep an eye out for that yogi. He's sneaky. He's gonna shimmy up the side of the building and put a blow dart in my neck. I'm sorry. There's nothing funnier than that. All right. But of course that guy's on board with Hinduism. He doesn't fucking care. It's either that or, pull the rope and open the curtain for Broadway or wherever the fuck he worked. I don't know where he worked. All right. And the kids are on board just because, how bad must be the kid of Julia Roberts where she just, one week she's a Hindu and she dresses you up in like a sari, and then the next week she's like, you know what, I forget. Hold on a second. We're straight wigs. And she dresses you up in like pilgrim gear. The pilgrims didn't vote for the wigs. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about now. Folks, I had an incident. All right. I should get back to that. All right. How did I spiral off it? Oh, because we talked about, I don't know. So, folks, I'm driving on the 101 to get here today, and that's fine. It's a highway. We've all enjoyed them. And I go ahead and I get to Highland. Now, here's the problem. When you get to Highland, Highland can be tricky because it's a main artery and a main thoroughfare into Hollywood proper, and it's very busy. There's like 5 lanes that can get clogged really quick. Plus, there's the Hollywood Bowl, landmark, legendary Hollywood, iconic stadium is there. And if there's a show, you're fucked. I mean, because it's just buses and people and people crossing the street. That's even worse. Is like you're sitting there with your foot on the pedal, wanting to just David Carradine, a lot of them in Death Race 2000, and that's right. I don't go remake. I go old school Death Race 2000. Fuck off. I don't need a Jason Statham to tell me that I can hit people with my car and get points. No, that's a David Carradine job. So I pull off, I get into Highland, and it's busy. And again, it's always bumper to bumper. There's always a ton of people there. There is a show there tonight. It's B.B. King and Buddy Guy in the Please Come and See Us Before We Die tour. That'll be great. Look, I'm not a blues guy, folks. I'm sorry. So I see that sign, and I make a mental note. I go, well, Christ, every, white guilt hipster is going to be at that show tonight, so I can't possibly take that on the way home. So depending on when I finish the show, I've got to go a back route. So I've got that plan in my brain. And I'm driving, and I'm listening to XM radio, and everything's fine. It's bumper to bumper. We're all moving. And again, I preface this, folks, where I only tell you these stories because they happen. I don't want to be pigeonholed as that guy, but I have to tell you this because it happened. I'm driving, and I have to be in the far right lane to make a turn eventually to go to our friend Lily Von Stupp's house. I don't know if you know Lily Von Stupp, producer of several burlesque shows, very famous. She is not in the burlesque film, by the way. They asked her. She said no. She said, I'm sorry, I can't be in it. My face moves. And, and believe me, you want to see her face move? Tell her about the burlesque movie. It'll contort into a mask of rage like you've never seen. It's got to be her punchline, right? It's like literally because we saw Punchline when I was a kid, and I wasn't even really heavy like a stand-up at that point. But I saw like a locker room and all that. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's great. And then you get older and you're like, oh, that's not even close. But the funny thing is Lily's been in burlesque for so long, and now she's going to go watch the burlesque movie, and I can't wait. It's going to be just like Showgirls, but with less, Elizabeth Berkley vagina. Did you ever see that, by the way? The DVD came out?
Yes.
And they have the scene where you can actually like a full-on gupper shot on Elizabeth Berkley. Hello, thumbs up. Saved by the goddamn bell. All right. So I'm on 101, and it's bumper to bumper. Oh, I apologize. I'm already in Highland, folks. Look at this. Look how deep I am in the story already. I forgot. I'm on the 101, and it's bumper to bumper. And I'm in the far right-hand lane because eventually there's going to be a turn. And again, I mentioned bumper to bumper, and I will tell you this. I see a guy on my side of the street, the right-hand side, and he's holding up a video camera. And I don't know why. But again, it is Hollywood. So pretty much anything could be happening at this point. I mean, there could be Sean Penn could have gone by on a bicycle, or there could be a bum fight. I have no idea. But whatever it is, some tourist deemed it videotape worthy, which really, the standard for that has fallen, hasn't it?
Yes.
Now that we have video cameras on our phones and our keychains and built into our fake eyes, seriously, anything that can be taped gets taped and gets thrown on YouTube and people think it's interesting. Trust me, I know. Go check out the 40-Year-Old Boy YouTube channel. As a guy who talks in circles in a hovel thinks that he's interesting. So I see this guy. He's on my right, so he's out my passenger window. He's standing there and he's laughing and he's filming. So he looks like he's filming traffic, and I can't figure out why he's filming traffic. But I figured there's something going on in the cars ahead of me. I don't know. Then I wonder, of course, as I'm sure all you did, is someone showing their breasts? I mean, because honestly, Tom Leykis is very famous for Flash Friday. Well, it's might be Tit Tuesday. I have no idea if there's some disc jockey who's gotten some breasts on board. I look for like a stripper van with those those mobile strip show vans. I don't know what's happening. All I know is he's filming, and I'm looking, I'm scanning, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And again, bumper to bumper traffic, ton of people hustling. And there's lights. I should say red light, green light. You're moving. It's slow pace. This guy's filming, and then I look, and across the street, across 6 lanes of traffic, 3 and 3, I see outside of a strip mall. How can I put this? It was the gayest black guy I've ever seen outside of the movie Mannequin. Does that make any sense to you? In fact, it may have been the gay black guy. Is that Meshach Taylor? I don't know who it is, but this is the gayest black guy. This guy could not have been more gay if he was blowing people on his knees seal style, like 4 cocks in his face. Because he's wearing a green half shirt with fringe and a skirt. A skirt, ladies and gentlemen. Now, look, I think we all know about the anatomy of your average black guy. Skirt's dangerous. That guy could be, he might have anaconda poking out at any time. And then, who shows up? Julia Roberts, her kids and husband, because, again, they're snake charmers. Did I mention that, folks? Ha! That made me laugh. So I look over. This guy's in a skirt and a green shirt with fringe, and he's got a high-top fade because, you know what? Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's only 2010. That hairstyle's been out for about 15 years. Go ahead and rock it. Although, this guy fucking cares. He's wearing a goddamn skirt. So he's got a high top fade, and he's dancing on the street. He's literally dancing and like waving at people and dancing. And remember I talked earlier about possibly seeing his cock. I wasn't sure if that was going to happen with the skirt in play. I can tell you that I didn't see it, and I can tell you for sure that he was wearing pink panties because he started doing kicks. Rockette style kicks. He looked like he was teaching the gayest Taibo class you've ever been to in your life. He just started getting into stances. He was teaching Gaybo. That's what he was doing. He was teaching Gaybo on the street to passersby. To anyone in a car, he was giving them a quick Gaybo lesson. High top fade and big, thick, muscular guy. The kind of guy, again, that you're not going to go up to him and go, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" Because chances are you may get your ass beat and raped. I mean, because he's a big dude. And he's not doing any harm. I should tell you that. He's not doing any harm. He's in a neon green, pink panties skirt and doing kicks and singing, like yelling and singing and dancing. He's just having a good time. And I'm sure he's amping it up because all the Swedish tourists have busted out their goddamn iPhones or what do they use over there? I don't know. The Swiss Miss phones, chocolate phone. I don't know what the fuck they have. E-phone. It's from IKEA. It's a Snurf phone or something. I don't know. But whatever they're using it, they're filming him, and he's going crazy. I mean, he's enjoying it. He's having a great time. So he's dancing, and I should say, my car. I will tell you about my Murano, Nissan Murano. When the windows are closed, you can't hear a fucking thing. It's awesome. It's like the greatest soundproof car in history. And I have my XM radio on anyway, and I got the air on, and the windows are up, so I can't hear him singing. I just see his mouth moving, and I know there's a problem. So people are filming him, and all that's happening. So as is the case, usually, people stop to look. People are looking at what's going on, and they're all, because he's really kind of drawing attention to himself. He's walking out into traffic and then walking back to the corner, walking into traffic, and he's not disturbing traffic when there's no cars. He's like marching out and like waving and kicking, and then he marches back to the corner and he's dancing. And this whole thing is taking place in a minute. I mean, because I'm sitting at a stoplight, we're watching it happen. So then, traffic starts to move again, bumper to bumper, and everybody's looking. There's people filming. There's a crowd of people, like 10 people on the side of the street. And he's across the street, and he's waving, and he's dancing. He's like, "Hi, y'all," because I rolled my window down to hear him. He's like, "Hi, y'all." I'm like, I roll my window back up because I don't need to hear that. I creep forward. The stoplight happens. I creep forward. The people are filming. There's a guy over on the side. He's dancing. He's got his crazy hairstyle. Everybody stops, except the person behind me. I stop. Everybody stops. This guy doesn't stop. He continues his dance. Everybody filming, tourists. Wham! I get hit in the ass. I get rear-ended. And I look in the rearview mirror. I'm like, oh. And I should tell you this, folks. It's Highland, so it's bumper to bumper. and there's nowhere to turn. All right, there's nowhere to pull off. There's nowhere to go. The lanes are the lanes. There's if you're going to turn into like a hotel parking lot, you got to go a block up. I mean, it's crazy. All right. There's nothing I can do. This girl hit me. And I say girl because I look in my rearview mirror, and it was a really hot girl who hit me. So I got that going for me at least. I look in the rearview mirror, hot girl, and I see white. She's got a Mini Cooper. Now, look, I'm driving a Murano. I'm surprised the Mini Cooper didn't just pull into my exhaust pipe. I mean, I have no idea how it made and I should say, when she hit me, it wasn't like wham, a big smash. I just jerked forward. It was like I got rear-ended. It wasn't a huge accident. It wasn't a big smash. It was enough to make everybody filming turn around and look because it made a noise. But I can't even imagine the fucking damage to my car. Like I don't even want to look. Again, folks, it's terrible. And but the thing is, again, there's nowhere to pull over. So I go to open my door, and I'm looking, and trying to figure out how I'm going to get out. And she's not making a motion to she almost looks like she's trying to ignore that it happened. Like she won't even look up. And but when she sees me open my door, she kind of she smiles and waves. So I know she knows. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm like, well, there's nowhere to pull over. I can't just get out in the middle of goddamn traffic. This is ridiculous. And again, it's stop and go. There's bumper to bumper, a ton of people on the side of the road. And I figure, well, you know what? I'll pull up. And there is a hotel, but you can't pull into the lot. But it's a little bit recessed. Not much, but there's a little bit of a space off the road you can pull over onto the curb. So I've still got my door open, and she's looking, and I'm looking, and then I pull forward with my door open. I drive forward, and I pull over. And I open I park the car, I get out, and she goes to get out, and I hear someone go, "Oh, what the fuck?" But I figured the fucking dancing guy has done a pirouette that no one's ever seen in their lives, so I ignore it. And the woman gets out, and I will tell you, as good as her face was, body was better. Tight jeans, like a peasant top, oh my God, hot, big boobs. And she gets out, and I go to the back of the car, and there's nothing's wrong with my car, as I anticipated there wouldn't be. I figured if anything, she was going to be fucked because she was the one who was going to take the brunt of it. But there's nothing wrong with her car. So she gets out, and she goes, "Hi," and I go, "Hey," and she goes, "I'm sorry, I was looking at that guy across the street." And part of me is like, boy, it's a good thing I'm not a lawyer because I would immediately grab my neck and fall down, and you'd be fucked. But I go, well, look, I'm fine. Are you fine? And she goes, yeah, I'm fine. And I go, look at your car. She goes, I don't see anything. I go, nothing's wrong with my car. And she goes, oh, okay. And she goes to pull out her driver's license, and I go, don't worry about it. I go, we're fine. You feel okay? Is everything all right? She goes, yeah. I go, great. She goes, great. And she puts out her hand to shake my hand like it was a business deal. And then I shook her hand, and then she hugged me. She leaned forward. She's like, thank you so much. She was so, like a young kid, whatever. She's happy. And again, there was no damage, so who cares? So pleasant experience, right? Everybody's involved. I got a hug, got to smell some girl's neck. It was fantastic. Got to feel the peasant blouse-clad boobs press against me. Excited about her tits. And she was smiling, and I did a good thing because I could have been a jagoff about it and said, oh, look at my car, but I didn't. Everything was fine. So I turn around to go back and to get in my car. And again, I'm 2 blocks from Lily's house at this point. I'm not far. And a guy pulls up alongside me because people had to go around us. So because we're, unfortunately, there's nowhere to go. We're in that lane. And this guy pulls up, and he rolls his window down, and he goes, oh, you had to fucking get out of your car for that? And he's talking to me. And I look at him and I go, excuse me? And he's in a Nissan 350SX, one of those black, real nice car, shiny. And he's in the passenger side. And he goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I go, what's your problem? And he goes, well, what the fuck are you you're stopping in the middle of fucking traffic? I go, yeah, she hit me. I'm just checking to see what's going on. He goes, well, nothing's wrong with your fucking car. And again, it's a stoplight, so he's not going anywhere. He's right there, and I'm right there. And I turn around and I go, yeah, nothing's wrong with my car, but you got to get out of the fucking car and check. And he goes, yeah, but you got to fucking do that in that lane. And I go, why the fuck is it any business of yours? And he goes, you fucking made me wait. I was in that fucking lane, and now I got to go around you. You stop in the middle of traffic. I go, Where the fuck do you have to go that's so goddamn important, you fucking cocksucker? Get out of the fucking car. I'll make you fucking late. And he starts yelling at me. He's like, fuck you. And the guy in the passenger, and there, I should tell you, my car's in the far right lane. Then there's another lane. They're in the middle lane of traffic. And he's yelling at me out of the passenger side, and I'm yelling at him, and I go, get out of the fucking car. Get out of the fucking car, you pussy. Don't sit there and fucking jaw at me. If you want to talk shit, I'll knock every tooth out of your fucking head. Get out of the fucking car. And he now the driver's yelling at me and the passenger's yelling at me, and I go, fuck it. I'll get you out of the fucking car. So I walk into traffic, and I walk over to his car. He rolls up his window, and but he's still yelling at me, oh, you fat fuck, and he rolls up the window. So at that point, folks, look, the window's up. What am I going to do, right? I got to get in my car and leave. It's stupid. Impotent rage. We all know I have it. I can't do anything at this point. We're in traffic. There's a guy dancing across the street. It's a festive time. So I have no choice but to turn around and get in my car. Or I can proceed to just start punching the fuck out of his car until he gets out and fights me. So,
Oh my God.
We're in the middle of traffic. He rolls his window up. And I go, get out of the fucking car. Get out of the fucking car. And I knee his passenger side door. And he makes this face like, what the... All of a sudden now, I've gone from fat guy engaged in argument to this crazy motherfucker's going to kill us. And I said, and I press my face up against his window and I go, get out of the fucking car. Push, push, push. And I punch the top of the car as hard as I can 3 times. I'm punching the roof of the car. I've already kneed it once. Now I'm punching the top of the fucking car in traffic in Hollywood. Guy still dancing. And I'm not there anymore. All right, I should tell you, I'm not even there. My body's there. I'm gone. I'm not. I am so fucking mad at this guy for nothing. I don't know why. Because you know why? Because fat fuck. The second fat fuck got uttered, that was it. I was like, all right, dude. You know what? If you want to sit there and jaw and lean out of your window like a goddamn rat, that's fine. But then you call me out. And again, there's there's a crowd. All right. I should also mention this. I punched the car 3 times and I fucking knee the car, and then they're trying to get away from me now but it's bumper to bumper traffic, as I've mentioned, and people start honking, and then the light turns green, and he immediately like, and the other guy, a guy in the far lane, lets him in and lets him get over to get away from me. Basically, they're saving him, and I'm standing in the middle of traffic, and traffic's going. I'm just standing there, hand swollen, fucking red, and I turn around to go to my car. And I should tell you that the Swedish tourists aren't filming the dancer anymore. I turn around, and it must be what it's like to be Julia Roberts and her family leaving a restaurant, because it's TMZ time. I've got fucking 10 people holding iPhones and filming me in the middle of traffic. As I'm standing in the middle of traffic, I turn around, and again, I'm shaking my hand out because I just beat the fuck out of a car, and I turn around, and everybody's filming me. So I walk, and it's funny, I'm still blocking a lane of traffic, so people are trying to get around me. I'm standing in traffic, my car's blocking another lane. I'm the human Hollywood Bowl, because I have clogged up Highland for miles. I'm standing and the thing is, nobody wants to tell me to get out of the street because they saw me just kick the shit out of a fucking Nissan 350SX. Nobody wants to fucking tell me to get out of the road. So people are driving and moving and driving, and then another car comes up, and the stoplight happens. So now I've stood there through one stoplight cycle as everybody got away, and people stop their car, and I'm standing there, and this guy rolls his window down, and he looks at me and he goes, "I would have done the same thing, dude." And I can't even imagine how he saw me, because again, he's back. Did people get out of their cars and watch me wail on this fucking guy's car? So I just nod, and then I come back to life, and I turn, I look at him, I see the people filming me, and I just walk over to get in my car, And people follow. It's so funny. I watched them. They followed me with their phones as I go to the car. And I go to get in the car, and I just look at them and I go, "How you doing?" And I get in, and I fucking drive, and I come here to Lily's house. Yeah, you can see my hand.
I wondered why it was all red and swollen over
Well,
here.
I walked in the house here, and then Lily goes, "Whoa, man, what'd you do to your hand?" And I go, I go, nothing. She goes, "Well, did you get bit by something? Why is it all swelled up?" I go, "Oh, I don't know," and because I didn't want to tell her, before I did the show. And then she said, "What do you want, some like cortisone or something?" I go, "No, I think it's okay." And she goes, "When did it start?" I go, "About 10 minutes ago." And look, I don't tell you this because I'm proud of it. I'm not happy about it. I'm not. I mean, it was stupid. It was fucking dumb. There's no doubt it was dumb. But, dude, don't call me out in front of everybody. And again, people are filming. You call me a fat fuck. And, I mean, don't lean out of your car and pretend like you're going to fight. And you know what? I'm just... I'm not, and look, I always think, I'm not a danger to myself and others. I'm a danger clearly to myself. I mean, I think. But I snapped out of it eventually once they drove away. But it was just, I lost my fucking mind because, again, incivility is driving me crazy. You were inconvenienced and you had to change lanes, so it's enough to say, "What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of the road." And, I mean, I was in a car accident. You couldn't say, "Hey, need any help? How is everybody?" There's a hot chick involved, dude. What's on your mind? Fuck, if I got out of the car just to get her phone number, you should think that I'm a champion, for Christ's sake. So I thought about it. It's like there were no winners in this situation. No winners at all. I mean, that guy doesn't win because now, first of all, he had to drive off like a goddamn pussy with his friend in the car. And they will have to face each other eventually and go, "Hey, there were two of us, right? We could have gotten out of the car and fought that guy, right? Shouldn't we have done that? Shouldn't we have beat the shit out of that guy, right? I mean, are we big pussies? Is that who we are? In our nice fucking Nissan?" So they're losers. I have to think that, the hot girl's a loser because, no, she's a winner because she got away okay, I guess. But she was delayed, so maybe she's a loser. I'm certainly not a winner in this because I'm going to wind up on fucking YouTube at some point. I got to think the biggest loser in this entire event is the Gaybo instructor across the street. Because if you put on a neon green half shirt with fringe and a skirt with pink panties and dance and sing on a corner in Hollywood Boulevard, you got to think you're the headliner, right? That guy's whole day was predicated on being the closer. He's like, "Yeah, wait till they fucking get a load of me down on Hollywood goddamn Boulevard. I am in a clean house. Pink panties, skirt, dance moves, high top fade, haircut from the 90s. I'm in." Yeah. Except that guy didn't count on my temper from the 90s fucking showing up. And me beating the shit out of a car. That guy opened for me. How fucking pissed is he on the street corner?
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy, and later, The Velvet Rope. Big James and Chewy want your IDs out and your metal items in the bowl.
I heard I got fucking crazy last night.
Dude, daily double for the kid. Daily double.
You pulled off a daily double.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking night I'm not here.
Yep.
You get blown and you choke a guy out?
Dude, I ranger choked this guy, and then his girlfriend blows me.
You ranger choked the guy? That's fucking... Wait a minute. You fucking ranger choked the guy and his girlfriend blew you?
Dude, my dick was already hard from the choke.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. The Velvet Rope on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
Fucking ranger.
Look, folks, I don't want to be that guy. We all know that. That's kind of the running theme, right? I mean, I don't want to be that guy. I'm trying not to be that guy, and yet, look, I'm not proud of this. It's funny. We just took a break, and Lily decided to search YouTube for crazy guy punches car in Hollywood. I'm like, it's not up yet, and it won't go up, right? It can't. Because it's so funny. I was telling Lily, and then as we were looking, I made her search for the guys in Boston, in Chinatown, who fought the guy with the baseball bat, and I'm watching it, and I go, man, I'm not those guys, right? I mean, because they were really looking for trouble. Like they were in a small street, and they were basically punching cars that went by and daring people to get out. But this guy called me out in front of people, like, and fuck, god damn it. I don't need any reason to hate myself, folks. Why? I'm not. I may tell stories gleefully, or I may relate them in a way that makes them funny. Because fuck, you wouldn't want to listen to them if they weren't funny, right? Imagine, like, let's go back and listen to that whole story that started the show. But what if I told it like I was proud of it? Wouldn't that be fucking horrible? Like I was excited about the fact that I fucking put my knee into a guy's passenger door and then punched the shit out of his car. I mean, I'm punching a car, folks. That's not good. That's stupid. I'm a fucking lummox. What the hell is wrong with me? God damn it. Oh, God, that ain't going to show up. It won't. It won't show up. All right.
It'll show up on youtube.de.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't. So I'm not happy about what happened or what went down. I mean, it just. I just. The incivility that the guy showed just to jump at me with the, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Right out of the basket. Like, what are you doing? Shut up. Because now I told Lily, I go, look, I don't even want that story in here. Because now I think, especially after watching the Boston idiots, because I watched that video going, look at these idiots. And then I'm like, I am that idiot. You shake your head no, but it doesn't matter. Because on the video, nobody's going to see, the dancing guy and that guy jawing at me. You're just going to see me beating the shit out of a car. Boy, oh boy. All right. Oh, so bad, folks. Why can't I get a job so my days are busy? All right. That's all I need is that to go on YouTube and be, fat guy. And she was funny. She was searching crazy guy punches car. I go, search fat guy punches car because I'm sure that's in there. That's what it'll be. Fat guy punches car in Hollywood. Terrible. All right. So I'll be right up there with Justin Bieber getting hit with the water bottle. I'll have like 2 million views. I got to find, you know what? I should just find it and put it on my channel because then I can host it and make some money off it somehow. I'll make it a pay-per-view thing. Hey, look at me punching shit because I'm stupid. All right. Send me $1. Or I'll punch your car. Oh, no, I'm that guy. I'm like Uncle Sam. I want you to send me money or I'll kick the shit out of your vehicle. All right. I just showed Lily Justin Bieber getting hit with the water bottle, and it's like, and it's so funny because again, I hate internet people. I don't like anybody because they think it's hilarious. Oh, it's so funny that I get hit with a bottle. No, it isn't. No, why is that funny? It's a 16-year-old kid who, quite frankly, he's lucky he's got that helmet of hair. Otherwise, he might go down like he was shot from the water bottle. And I don't even think it was a malicious water bottle thing. Like, if you haven't seen it, there's a video where Justin Bieber gets hit with a water bottle. I don't know how you haven't seen it because I saw it on the news. Like, and again, I live in Los Angeles, so granted, there's no real news out here. But sure enough, they showed it. They were like, "Oh yeah, we've got a story from Houston or wherever the fuck it was." Oh man! So Justin Bieber's on stage and he's like, "Hey, turn the lights on. I want to turn the lights on because I love you guys." Wham! Water bottle hits him in the forehead, and again deflects. It kicks off of the hair shield that he has. Ping! It actually makes a noise like a quarter bouncing off a glass plate. Ping! Which you've heard many times at a carnival. All right. Because they have the plate and you try to land on. All right. I was thinking David Spade's bit on that when he's like talking about the book. He actually said Buki carnival games. That's David Spade's funny, by the way. I don't know so much now, and he wasn't funny when I did a commercial with him and he made fun of me, which was very depressing. Because I thought I'm going to be look, I'm in a commercial with David Spade. We're going to get along, and then eventually I'll start hanging out with him. And we'll be friends. No, what's really going to happen is I'm going to go sit in my trailer that has no running water, and then I get called out to do my part, and David Spade will be talking to everybody, and then someone will say something, and I'll make a joke, and David Spade will just look at me and sneer and walk off. Very disappointing. All right.
What was the joke?
I don't even remember. I just said a funny, like, he was being funny, like, and he was being funny with a group of people, and we were all just kind of standing there, and then I did what I do, which is I say something funny on top of his funny thing, like, I'm not saying improve or better or anything. It's just I tagged it. I tagged what he said. Like he said something and it was like, and he had like, and it was so funny. He was with the meathead, the guy who wound up tasering him and all that shit. You know that guy? That guy was there because this is before all that happened. So, but he's with his people and then the people for the commercial, the chorus people and stuff. This is the first job I ever had, folks. I booked a commercial and it was in Hollywood and it was with David Spade. I'm like, I'm a star. So I go and basically I'm a counter person and what it is these two kids try to buy beer, underage kids. And I'm behind the counter, and literally this is my line. They show me like making a fisheye at them, and then they put their beer on the counter, and I go, IDs. And then they show their IDs, and I look back and forth, and I nod, and I ring them up. That's my whole bit in the commercial. But the point is, David Spade is in the commercial, and he's walking throughout, like he's the narrator, and he's like, hey, you better have your IDs, fellas, or else, he's doing his David Spade thing. So we're off camera, and, and this is Fat Mike, too, I should tell you that. And everybody, he's being very funny and da-da-da, and then I zinged, I thought we were ping-ponging, so he said something funny, and I got a laugh, and then I said something funny, and a couple of people laughed. None of David Spade's people laughed, but I will say that some of the production people and one of the chorus guys laughed, and David Spade said something really dismissive to me, but under the guise of funny. He was busting my balls, but not busting my balls in a "hey, we're friends" way. He was busting my balls in a "know your place" type of way. And it's so funny. I remember everything, folks. I can't remember for the life of me what he said. It was something like, because I said something funny and I got to laugh, and he was like, save it for your performance," or something. It was like something that dismissive. But it wasn't that bad. And then he got a laugh. They all laughed at that, of course, because it was hilarious and it made me look stupid. And then he kind of sneered and he walked off. And I sat there and I was just like, oh, really? I'm a comic. We're comics. Can't we be comics together? No, man. I was fucking Fat ID's guy. That's who I was. And David Spade at the time, famous, still, ultra famous. But back then he was famous. Terrible. Story has no payoff. I don't even know why I brought it up. You know why? Because at the end of shooting, he got into his car to drive away, and I jumped over and I beat the shit out of his car. I started punching it. There's a pattern, folks. That's what I want to do. I just want to establish there's a pattern of me punching up motorized vehicles. I have a problem with the internal combustion engine. That's my problem. Horse and buggy gets off fine. I'm no Alec Karras. I don't punch a horse in the face. Car, however, I'm going to fucking gaybo the shit out of it. All right. That guy, he was still out there. He's still out there dancing even faster. He's like, people got to notice me. Terrible. So yeah, I don't even think that person threw the water bottle at Bieber to be mean. I think it was just like some teenage girl who has hormones and she doesn't know why. Like, she doesn't know why she's got that tingling feeling, so she just went crazy and threw something. You know what I mean? She was like you watch the Beatles and people are just sobbing because they don't know why. They can't explain it. That's what it was. This girl's just like, Justin Bieber's in the same room. Wing, loaded bottle of water hits him right in the head. She must have been mortified. God damn, she must have been terribly mortified. And his reaction was perfect. He just goes, ow. This is what a 16-year-old kid would do. That's a great reaction, Justin Bieber. That's why he's a star. I have a podcast because my reaction would have been to leap into the audience and start punching everybody in the face. Or follow that girl to the parking lot when her and her mom drive out of the lot. I jump in and just start kneeing the shit out of her car because I'm an asshole who can't control himself. God damn it. Can you tell this bothers me? Oh, man. And again, I tell it like I tell the story just because it happened. It happened on the way here. All right. It's so funny. Even in this, I have no opening line. I have no opening act. Like I told you on stage, I've never had an opening line, so I just kind of dealt with what was going on. That's what this show is. I just deal with what's going on. What I heard on the radio, whether I punched a guy or a car, stupid. Oh, man. I'm so mad at myself. Because then it's like I said, I literally, I'm not lying to you. Yesterday, watched the video of the guys in Boston beating up cars, and the guy gets out with the baseball bat and goes after him, and I'm like, I go, look at those idiots. Ha ha, I get what you deserved. The very next day, I'm standing in an intersection going, who else wants some? Huh? You, Dodge Dart, you got something to say? Come on! Oh, yeah? Look, if that fucking Kia Sophia looks at me the wrong way again, I'm going to fucking kick it right in the grill. Whoa, man. What a fucking dope. Oh. You know who I am, dude? I'm a juggalo. That's who I am. I'm like those fucking juggalos who listen to ICP, those nutbags. But I don't even like ICP. Like, I don't even, and fuck, because the fucking, you know what? That's another thing I watched on YouTube. Did you see the infomercial for the Gathering of the Juggalos? Oh, my God. Oh, dude, listen to me. If you're listening to my voice, if you're within the sound of my voice, turn me off. Well, not yet. I have to tell you why. Go watch the Gathering of the Juggalos infomercial. It is, look, and again, Juggalos are an easy target. All right, we all know that because they have the Juggalo baby funeral is online, and then the Juggalo. I mean, all this nonsense because But the sad thing is, they're real. That's the worst part of this whole thing is Juggalos are real. It's not even like a goof. Like you would think that this was all just a big hoax, but no, these are actual fucking people who follow the Insane Clown Posse and all of their friends. I don't know. It's like the Insane Clown Posse and all their posse. That's what it is. The Insane Clown Posse's posse. Guys like Twisted and, oh, my God. So they have this thing called the Gathering of the Juggalos, and it's this weekend.
Where?
It's at I think it's in Michigan. It's, oh, please. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't even be here. It's at a fairgrounds, but that's the thing. It's like 3 days. The Gathering of the Juggalos is 3 days, and I can't even imagine what, I'm going to steal my own bit. If you have the Gathering of the Juggalos, you might as well just build a NASCAR track around that. Just to, So you have all the white trash in the world in one spot at any given time. I can't. Just so I picture if you Google Map the gathering of the Juggalos, I think you'll just see the word "duh" from space. Literally, just Google Map the location and just "duh." That's all it'll say. All right. The gathering of the Juggalos. Oh my God, the Juggalos. Lily singing Bugaloos. You ever heard that song Bugaloos? For the Saturday morning cartoon, the Bugaloos, the Bugaloos, the Juggalos, the Juggalos. It works. It works perfectly. They're in the air and everywhere, driving their shitbox cars with no hubcaps. All right. Stealing my parking spot. Yeah, it was a Juggalo. You have to see the infomercial. It's like 20 minutes. And it's like
20 minutes?
It's a 20-minute infomercial. It's an actual infomercial. That's the thing. And it's got and here's the thing. All right, I'm going to say something that's going to seem very controversial and weird. Well, maybe not. Gathering of the Juggalos, again, it's a party. It's a 3-day deal for Juggalos where they go and they camp. And then there's all sorts of different events. And this is what terrified me. In the infomercial, they hired the deep voice infomercial guy. And he's like, oh, all you Juggalos, you need to come to the Gathering of the Juggalos. We've got comedy shows.
What?
Because they have concerts, all right? Look, ICP is going to be there. And they have an old school concert where, like, I mean, all these old school bands, like Naughty by Nature is going to be there.
No.
Warren G,
No.
Tone Loc. Like Rob Bass and Slick Rick, and it's like, dude, that's awesome. Old school guys should get to play, but do you think they want to play in a fairground for a bunch of, like, I don't want to say white supremacists, just clown supremacists. That's who the Juggalos are. They're clown supremacists. I can't imagine going and playing for those people. Comedy shows. So I saw comedy shows, and I'm terrified immediately. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want to play in Michigan, let alone for the campground, the Gathering of the Juggalos. Who the fuck could possibly be doing comedy there? So in the infomercial, they're like, oh yeah. And all right, the infomercial starts out, and it's the deep voice guy, and he's talking about, and he says there's seminars and comedy shows. And I'm like, seminars? What the fuck is that? Seminars, yeah. I don't even know. Just, is that how to remove a screw top from a wine bottle? I mean, what could you... Although, who needs a seminar? Honestly, if you're at the Gathering of the Juggalos, you know how to remove a screw top from a wine bottle. You don't need a seminar on that at all. But yeah, they start talking about all the things that they're going to have there over this 4-day event, and they wind up with 3 people in a car in front of a green screen, pretending to drive like a big Cadillac, and it's some guy named Awesome Dre, and like a guy named like DJ Kid Clay. I don't know what his fucking name was, and then Sweet Sugar Slam. It was this blonde lady with pigtails. And they just start swearing and talking about Juggalos and the party and that they're going to have, and they're talking about the seminars and how it's going to be dope and off the hook and fucking, and then they say there's going to be the premiere of ICP's second movie called Big Money Rustlers. And dude, first of all, ICP made a first movie? I didn't even know. But that's this whole subtext. The Juggalos they're out there, but you don't know that they're out there, but they're keeping it afloat. They're paying all this money. And that's the thing. I was going to say, dude, if you're having a gathering of the Juggalos, first of all, that's good. Gather them all in one place so they're not by us. That's safe. Just keep them there. It's just the level of douchebaggery in this country is just, it knows no depths. There are so many different levels of douchebag. There's your Ed Hardy fucking, skinny jean wearing douchebag. And then there's your goddamn Juggalo douchebag. And look, again, I'm not disparaging Juggalos because I like a bunch of stupid shit. All right, I like UFC and I like Kiss and Jellyfish. I mean, people would think I was an asshole, and that's fine, dude. Who the fuck am I? 2 hours ago, I'm punching a Nissan. So who the fuck? I am a Juggalo. I just don't embrace ICP, but I embrace the behavior of the Juggalo apparently. Jesus Christ! But the infomercial, you have to see it. It's so gorgeous, and I feel. Again, like I said, the Gathering of the Juggalos, it's like $250. You get a campsite and all these different things. But I think that's cool. Does that sound weird? I think it's cool that these people who all like one thing, as horrible as it is, can get together and consider themselves a family and like that thing. I mean, I know it's an awful thing to like. I mean, it's like if you had, the Gathering of the Necrophiliacs, you know what I mean? That would be odd. I could imagine it'd be at some cemetery somewhere. You got to think, right? They would have comedy shows and shovels. But when I see the ICP Gathering of the Juggalos, part of me is just, It's kind of heartwarming. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but when you see, and look, it's easy to make fun of juggalos, all right, because they are, there's especially with that fat girl who's the one who had the baby die. And I talked about that, right? The baby funeral, dude. It's just. And then they're talking about the bands that are coming, and they're again, nobody's ever heard of them except Juggalos, but the Juggalos got to be a cash cow for ICP. What if ICP in normal life they wear like business suits and they just laugh? They're like those dudes, but then they put on the ICP costumes for the Juggalos. They don't live the Juggalo life, but they exploit the Juggalos. Then I'm in. Although I don't think that's true because I had a little run-in with the fucking ICP and the Juggalos. I shouldn't even. All right. I bounced at the House of Blues one night when they played. Did I talk about that on here?
Oh, I don't know.
All right. And it was them, and I don't think they had any other. But on this gathering of the Juggalos, they have other bands. Like there's a guy called Boondocks, and he's doing a ballad on the infomercial. It's great. And he's standing in front of a coffin, he's like the tears ran down my face. I mean, just like awful. The music is so bad. And then they talk about there's also will be Blaze, Ya Dead Homie. And Blaze, You Dead Homie, and Anybody Killer. And the best part about Anybody Killer, he's a rapper. Okay, this guy makes a living with his mouth. All right, rapping, having to rap fast. He has a speech impediment. Anybody Killer. And maybe it's affected for a character. I have no idea. I just saw a little clip. Again, I don't own the album. I apologize. But he does that thing with his S's where he does this. So it's Anybody Killer. And he's like, say, homies, I'm going to fucking suck you up. Like it's this weird... In the clip, he's like, so anybody got the band and the corpses? I don't even know. You know what? It seems like the only way that guy becomes a rapper is if the Make-A-Wish Foundation gets involved. And they're like, boy, I really would like to be a rapper someday. That'll be the best. And they went, we can make that happen. I mean, seriously. Are you just trying to prove a point that it doesn't bother you? Because it bothers us, motherfucker. I mean, seriously. If you got to do a fucking rap with a cocksock on your microphone so it doesn't short out, seriously, think about another line of goddamn work. But the best part about all those bands I just said, Boondocks, Blaze Ya Dead Homie, and Anybody Killer, they all wear makeup like ICP. Like the same kind of makeup type pattern. Look, has anybody seen all of these guys in one place at one time? That's my question. I think it would be so great if ICP was playing this elaborate prank and putting out all these albums under these different names and just collecting all the money for themselves. And they just happen to have the different makeup on. Because it's Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. I know that. But this infomercial, again, and I've talked way too much about it, and I've talked in circles, quite frankly. I thought I would find some traction on it, but I can't because you really can't joke a joke. I mean, it's like... My point is, I think it's really cool and heartwarming that these people have something to do with themselves. I'm a little stunned that it's the 11th annual gathering of the Juggalos. I mean, of course, though, I'm 43 and I'm exhibiting Juggalo behavior, and I have been for many, many years. So, quite frankly, I mean, the first annual gathering of the Juggalos was when I was in high school. Apparently, I was the leader. All right, it's amazing to see the subculture. Is my point. Is that the fact that they have a movie and they have this huge gathering. The comedy show thing it terrified me. So I went and looked to see who it was. Here's who's doing comedy at the ICP thing. Tom Green is going to be there.
Of course.
Tom Green is there. Well, of course he is. And Gallagher is going to be there, smashing watermelons. And the best part, in the infomercial, they're talking about the comedy, and they pull the car off. And they're in front of a green screen of like a Waffle House. It's just like, dude, you have to see. Again, I can't stress it enough. And they're like, yeah, this comedy show is going to be off the hook. And they go, Tom Green is going to be there. And they cut to like a clip of Tom Green. And they come back, and the guy goes, yo, fucking Gallagher is going to be there smashing watermelons and shit. And then the other dude goes, is that the real Gallagher? And he goes, yeah, not that Gilligan motherfucker. Ha! Because, your discerning juggalos don't want to see Gallagher too. They certainly... Look, we've paid good money to camp here and see a bunch of guys in makeup shout obscenities at us. I'm not going to have a false watermelon smasher purveying his wares. I need the original, please.
Oh, my Christ.
Literally, the original Gallagher, the only original thing at the gathering of the Juggalos. Honestly. And then they said, and Ron Jeremy's going to be up in this bitch. Ron Jeremy is there doing comedy. And he goes, he's going to be talking about slang and dick and doing all those pussy jokes.
Oh, my
And then they do a tight facial shot of Sweet Sugar Slam, the girl, and she goes, he does have good dick jokes. I can't even imagine it. I want to go, like, I would go just to see it, but I mean, I'm sure I'd be torn to pieces. It would be, they'd murder me. It would be like the scene in Suddenly Last Summer when at the end when he's the guy is torn apart by the young boys. Terrible. How highbrow is that reference when I'm talking about Gathering the Juggalos? How terrible. It's like, yeah, you know what? It would be like that scene in that Tennessee Williams play. You Juggalos all remember that. Get him! They fucking tear me apart and eat me, and fucking Lily's just screaming, telling the story to Montgomery Clift. All right. That might have been the gayest thing, too, at Gathering of the Juggalos, except for Ron Jeremy telling slang and pussy jokes, whatever the fuck. Oh, my God. So they said Tom Green is going to be there, but I want to go. I want to be like undercover at the Gathering of the Juggalos and check it out. But I guess if I wore the makeup, I could go undercover. But then when they all started doing their juggalo, it would be like a black guy at a Klan meeting, like trying to hide under a hood or something. But who am I kidding? I fit right in. All of my behavior this afternoon indicates that I am a juggalo. I need to just fucking resign myself to it. That's the thing. I'm a juggalo. I got to buy fucking ICP albums and just fucking start listening to Twisted. That's what I need to do. God damn it. I need to start going to Waffle House and getting into scraps. That's who I am. I gotta find myself a juggalette. Is that what they're called? There's a juggalo and juggalette. Yeah, juggalettes. I gotta find a fucking juggalette and just settle down. That's what I gotta do. And then we're gonna have a dead baby and have a juggalo funeral. All right. Sorry, I can't. I'm obsessed because I saw the infomercial. Then, of course, once you see the infomercial, then you go down the fucking rabbit hole, the juggalo hole, into all of the juggalo stuff that's going on. And again, it's not even you can't even make fun of it. It's just because it's just so odd on its face. It's so odd on its black and white made up face. Juggalo culture. Oh, ridiculous. So they say Tom Green's going to be there, Gallagher's going to be there, Ron Jeremy's going to be there, and then it says, and Hannibal Buress. I know what you're thinking. How the fuck did Hannibal Buress get tricked into doing the Juggalo Festival? I don't know Hannibal Buress, okay? He's a comedian from Chicago who writes for Saturday Night Live, and he's on Louis C.K.'s show all the time. He's a great stand-up comic. He's fucking hilarious. His new album just came out, and he's playing, because I went to the Gathering of the Juggalo site, and I saw his name. He's playing at like 2 a.m. on some stage. I'm like... And is he sneaking in under the cover of night and now I'm thinking he might be filming it for a bit for something. Like I hope nobody gets wind of his sarcasm because they're going to tear Hannibal Buress apart. He's going to get the fucking Sebastian treatment. Oh, I was stuck. I almost, if anybody out there knows Hannibal Buress, he has to write why he's playing Gathering the Juggalos. I should go to his website maybe. Maybe I should have done some research on this possibly, but I was so scared when I saw his name. I'm like, dude, he's never going to get out of there fucking alive. That's crazy. So they got comedy night. Of course, they got seminars, as I've mentioned. They've got ladies' night, which is hosted by Sweet Sugar Slam. And she even says, all right, all you bitches, we're going to get up in here. And they mention who's going to be there. And here's my favorite. They go, first time ever on the mic, because you want your debut to be at the Gathering of the Juggalos, don't you? You want to go up and work out the kinks of your show in front of this bloodthirsty mob. But she's talking about, because it's all women. It's going to be all, and the first time ever on the mic, Illegal. That's her rap name. Illegal. Oh God. That's worse than your burlesque dancers. All right. We talk about how long they take to choose names. Rappers need to take some more time choosing their names. Hey, I'm Illegal. Oh my God. Jump off a cliff. And then she says, and now there for the first time ever on the mic, my homegirl who I went to high school with, true story, Tila Tequila. Yes, that's right. Tila Tequila is going to the Gathering of the Juggalos. She's got to, she's going to do like 2 songs and put up a blowjob tent, right? Isn't she? Just to make some cash. I mean, the fact that they're billing her as like a headliner in there, because Lil' Kim is there too, but then they've hyped it up where Tila Tequila's coming, and I'm just like, oh my God, look, people make fun of your event enough. Now you're going to drag Tila Tequila into the mess? That's just, if anything, she cheapens the Gathering of the Juggalos. Yes. That's how bad Tila Tequila is. She actually makes the Gathering of the Juggalos seem unappealing to Juggalos. Even they're going, man, I can't go watch that skank fake sing. That's going to be horrendous. Oh, Juggalos. Come on, have some pride, Juggalos. Get Tila Tequila bounced off of that fucking lineup. Lil' Kim is there. That should be enough for you guys. Oh, dude. You can't joke a joke. But I mean, then the fucking deep voice guy comes back on. And he says this. I had to write this down. He actually says this. The gathering has fresh and exciting shit to do all around the fucking Klizak. Somebody wrote that for deep-voiced internet guy. Someone or voiceover guy. They were like, all right, read this. And he imagine him rehearsing it. Imagine, is this Klizak? What does this mean? I don't know. It's Klizak. What is that? It's, trust us, it's the Juggalos will understand. Please just read it the way it's written. This gathering has fresh and exciting shit to do all around the fucking Klizak. And then he says, if you like midgets, we've got midgets for you. Oh, my God. Of course we love midgets. This whole thing, it just plays out. It's a Fellini movie. It's literally a 4-day Fellini movie with evil clowns and midgets and fucking, giant wrestlers cutting their head and bleeding and then naked chicks. It's a Fellini film. God, it's like Satyricon at a campground. I mean, it is just crazy to me that they... And again, you can't joke a joke, all right? I understand I'm talking a lot about something that's infinitely funny already, and there's nothing I can do to make it even funnier. It's just... But you wouldn't think so. But then I find Tila Tequila's going in and I'm like, well, that makes it kind of funnier. And then they're having pro wrestling there. They're having all these old wrestlers in there. Dude... And here's the thing, they run down the names of like famous wrestlers. Well, all right, I should tell you this. In the infomercial, they're driving and they look and they show a hitchhiker holding up the ICP sign and they go, who's that hitchhiker? Hey, that looks like Corp. Pick his ass up. Turns out it's the heavyweight champion of the Juggalo Championship Wrestling. He's hitchhiking to the gathering of the Juggalos and Sweet Sugar Slam and DJ Clay and Awesome Dre stop and pick him up. And he goes, and he has to deliver a line from a script, and it's just like, he talks just like a guy who's been getting stop signs rammed into his head his entire fucking career. Hey, yo, I was hitchhiking, but thanks for picking my ass up. You guys is the shit. I tell you what, I would have walked all the way from Milwaukee because the gathering is just that fucking nice. I mean, it's like, oh, that bad. Like, seriously terrible. And then they go, oh, you're wrestling there? And he goes, yeah, it is wrestling. We got, and they cut to him on a green screen in front of wrestlers, and he runs down famous wrestlers. But this is the list. He goes, Terry Funk, Booker T, TV's Todd Bridges. All right. We're all thinking it. I'm going to say it. What you talking about, Corp? There's no way.
Oh my God.
There's no way TV's Todd Bridges is coming to the gathering of the Juggalos. I know you're thinking it, but it's true. What you talking about, Corp? Todd Bridges is there fighting. He's wrestling now, I guess. Oh my God. Just the You know what's funny, though? I make fun of it, and yet Todd Bridges, even clinging by the last fingernail on his pinky, is still more in show business than I am. I can't make fun of him. Oh, dude. And then in the infomercial, they show the trailer for the movie, The Big Money Rustlers, and it's a Western. The ICP has made a Western, which indicates they have to be in on the joke. Fucking ICP... I'm telling you, Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope, they live their life like in suits and like normal clothes, and then they just dress up like this to make money. That's it. They have to be in on the joke because it's a Western where they're wearing the makeup, and like Violent J is like the mean cattle baron, and Shaggy 2 Dope comes to town as the new sheriff, and then he comes to town as the sheriff. This is why I know they're in on it. In a scene from Big Money Rustlers, he goes to visit his mom. His mom has the ICP makeup on. They're in on it. We can't make fun of the Juggalos. Hold on. We can make fun of the Juggalos. We can't make fun of the ICP because they get it. I really think they get it. They just have to be playing the role because they know that that's where the fucking money is, right? Oh, dude. All right. So I'll get to this. I bounced. I've dealt with Juggalos before. All right. I'm not worried about this show getting me beaten up and torn apart. It might. You never know. But I've dealt with Juggalos before at the House of Blues when the ICP was playing there. Now, look, I knew ICP. I knew who they were, and I knew about their shows. If you don't know about their live shows, they're crazy, all right? The fans get crazy. Everybody gets all hype, and they do this thing where they dump soda, Faygo soda, all over the crowd, all show long. They'll bring out Faygo soda, 2 liters, and they shake it up, and they shoot it all over the audience. I don't know why. I don't know the origin of it, but I knew they were going to do it, so I was actually kind of excited for the show. I thought it would be a fun spectacle. When I was bouncing, because you'd go see shit shows and I'd see like 9 folk singers in a circle sitting down. I mean, that's boring. I want to see some shows where there might be some action and might be some fun. So I was interested to see the whole subculture because I knew a little bit about juggalos because this is, 99 I did it, 98. So the show started, obviously they start letting the people in at like 8, but bouncers had to get there at 7:30. Well, they told us for this show they wanted us there at 6:45 because they had to go over some special rules. So I kind of knew because it was the soda and all that kind of stuff. So I get to Hollywood and I park. 6:45, there's a line around the block. All right. I mean, we're an hour and a half away from people, getting into the show. There's a line already of ticket holders, full makeup, shirts, juggalos, all up around the block. And in Hollywood, I think we've learned from earlier events today, anything can happen on the street. So you walk up and you just see a bunch of fat dudes in fucking makeup. You're just like, oh, something's going on, whatever. But I knew what it was, so I walk and I have to wade through them. So I'm walking down, and I have to get to the front, or the back entrance. So I'm walking through. There's a whole bunch of them in the parking lot. They're all standing there. And as I'm walking, you can hear them talking. They're talking about the show. And I hear a guy go, man, we're going to fuck this place up tonight. And I'm like, oh, I was excited about this show. I thought it was going to be fun. And then I continue to walk, and then I get to the back, and I talk to another security guy. He's like, hey, what's going on with these people? And I go, oh, you've never seen this show? I go, dude, it's going to be crazy. That's why we're here. There's like a briefing, and these 2 guys come up to us in full makeup. And they go, do you guys work here? And we go, yeah. And they go, when are you letting us in? And we go, well, I think doors are at 8. We got a meeting. And and the guy goes, oh, fuck, 8. It's not even 7. And we're like, yeah, well, I think it's 8. The line is up around the block. And he goes, yeah, we know where the fucking line is. And the other security guard looks at me and laughs. It was he was a black guy. And there was a black guy and a white guy in full makeup. So Ebony and Ivory for the Juggalos, at least that's happening. But the other security guy was a black guy, and he's with me. And the guy goes, yeah, we know where the fucking line is. And we just go, okay. And he goes, we're going to fuck this place up tonight. And I look at him and I go, what? And he goes, we're going to fuck this place up tonight. And they high five and they go walking back to the line. And the other security guard looks at me and he goes, is that guy serious? And I go, yeah, I think they got us here an hour early for a reason. So we go in the back, and we have like a fucking, almost like a military-style breakdown. We go, because we used to do the meetings up in the back. I don't want to tell you. I can't tell you in the House of Blues. Whatever. Who cares? It's a secret place. So we go and have this meeting, and Lewis, who runs security, is like, look, I'm not happy this band is here. I don't know if you know anything about them. They have this really heavy fan base, and I don't know if you've been inside yet, but they've had to put plastic wrap all over the entire building. And we're like, why? But I know why, because it's the soda. But the other security guards are like, why? And I go, Fago dudes. And they're like, what? And I go, they spray soda everywhere. And Lewis goes, he goes, you would not believe how much soda they have in the back. He goes, they have to have 200 pallets of 2-liter bottles of soda. I mean, it's incredible. And he goes, yeah, they spray soda all over the audience, and it's going to be crazy. And he goes, I got to warn you guys who are going to be in the pit. You're going to get soaked. I mean, you're going to get covered in soda. And all of a sudden I realized maybe it's not going to be as cool as I thought it was tonight. Like it would have been fun to watch it from far away and see it take place. But it wasn't going to be that great to be, walking around in the perimeter and breaking up fights. And we were like, okay, well, is it going to be a real problem in the pit? Like, you think there'll be a lot of stage diving? And Lewis goes on to tell us that there won't be a lot of fights because the crowd, they have a weird family atmosphere where they all get along and they're all like friendly. Like, he's been told that they're all going to get along. Like, the crowd, and I guess that's the Juggalo thing. Like, they consider themselves family and they're all there to have a good time, which is great. But unfortunately, that means all of their aggression is taken out on the people who run the club. So he said, if there's going to be a problem, it's going to be with you guys. They're not going to have a problem with each other. You're not going to be breaking up a lot of fights, but don't be surprised if some guys come after you. So
Nice.
And we're like, are you fucking serious? And he goes, yeah, that's why we're here early, and that's why everybody's working, because nobody had a day off. Every bouncer in the place was there. And so he goes, all right, here's the assignments. And he reads everybody off, and he goes, Mike, you're in the pit. And I always liked working the pit. And I didn't mind working the pit because, I didn't mind fucking grabbing dudes and throwing them back in. And I wasn't a nut about it. Like, I had a good time. But if someone hit me, of course, they were going to get tuned up. But I've mentioned before, like, when bands like Mana were there, or Sepultura was brutal because it was in the dark and they started launching people, like literally putting their hands together, cupping them, and a guy would step in it and they'd flip him into to try to get him on stage, and we'd have to catch him almost in midair and throw him back into the crowd. So Sepultura was crazy. But Ed, in that element, with the anger the Juggalos apparently have for authority, mixed in with gallons of soda, and I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. So I told Lewis, I go, look, dude, I'm in the pit all the time. All right, I you know that. I don't want to be fucking covered in soda. And he goes, Mike, I got news for you. No matter where you work tonight, you're going to get covered in soda. I went, oh, fuck. All right. So we go into the building, we set up in perimeters first, and then they let the Juggalos in. And they come running up to the front because they all got to be in the front. And I'll tell you what, normally crowds walk into a show I've seen, and then they kind of meander. These fucking guys got on the floor and sat there waiting. Not sat, stood because there's no seats, but stood there waiting for the fucking show to begin. Like, they weren't going to get beers. There wasn't like a lot of camaraderie. It was like they were really intensely waiting, almost like people waiting for a football game. Like, it was the weirdest. Like a playoff game was going to happen or something. And you know what? They had all the face paint. I mean, it literally looked like it was going to be some sort of, oh my God, really? Fuck, I'm sorry, folks. This is a long show. All right, I'll try to wrap it up as soon. Oh, yeah, whatever. All right, so I'm in the pit, and there's 8 of us in the pit. Normally there's only 4 of us. So they got 8 of us in the pit, and we're looking at each other like, what the fuck is happening? Because these guys are like staring at us with their makeup on, and periodically someone will go, we're going to fuck this place up. Like they're all excited to destroy. And I should tell you, there is plastic wrap everywhere. I mean, like it looked like the show was inside of a condom. I mean, it was like this incredible fucking every speaker, every wall, there's like a tarp. Everything is covered in this huge plastic. And the House of Blues prides itself on their curtains. They have these famously old curtains and stuff like that. So they also told us, they go, look, the curtains will be kept closed until the show, so there's no plastic on them. But they've been told not to fuck with the curtains. So the band has assured us nothing bad will happen to the curtains. And we're like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. And they go, but make sure no fucking audience member touches the curtains. And we're like, okay, because that was always a rule in the pit. Because people would grab the curtain to try to look behind at the bands, and it'd be like, dude, get your fucking hands up. Because if you pull it down, you owe us fucking, $40,000 or whatever the fuck it was. So we're in the pit. We're waiting for the show. And lights go down. Circus music starts. And again, I was kind of excited because I get adrenaline pumping, and I'm it's still a concert, even though it's not a concert I would ever go to see. But I was excited to see what it was all about. It's like with Kiss. Like Lily's pointing out to the fact that I'm making fun of the Juggalos and everything, but I love Kiss, and I wear their face makeup. So what the fuck? Of course, Kiss never asked me to go sleep in dirt for 3 days and watch Gallagher. But I mean, I probably would have. Yeah, it's a good point. I probably would have. So, yeah, I would have done it immediately. Done. So the circus music starts, and they come out, and they've got a whole stage deal where it's like they got DJs and guys, and then they have other clowns like with them. They have ICP, and they come out and they hit the stage, and the place goes fucking crazy, and it's sold out, and the whole floor starts moving. Like you ever see those concerts in Europe where everybody's jumping? Everybody knew every word, and it was awesome. And all of a sudden, I mean, the show starts, and you're like, yay! And then the soda starts. These clowns come out, and I must admit that the opening was great, like this fucking like sinister music, and then the fucking curtains went back, and then they fucking hit it hard. And if you like that kind of music, you'd have gone crazy, and they did. And they start pouring soda on the crowd. They just start shaking up Faygo. And the thing is, they shake the Faygo up, and then they throw the empty bottle into the crowd. So then the crowd now has fucking empty bottles of and you're like in the pit going, oh, this is gonna suck. And they start pouring soda everywhere, and then they start pouring soda on us in the pit. The first guy to get it is two guys over. This guy Roger, and I see him standing there, and they just come up and they start spraying the Faygo into the crowd, and they just start pouring Faygo on top of Roger, and the crowd goes crazy. And I'm standing there, and I've got my back to the stage, so you can't turn around and look. You know what I mean? Sure enough, I can see the crowd's eyes, and out of the corner of my eye, I see them coming over by me, all the clowns, and ICP is rapping, and they're standing above me, and I can see them, and then they crouch down, so now they're on either side of me, and it's like Violent J, Shaggy 2 Dope, and Fat Bouncer in the middle just kind of smirking like, okay. And like I said, I wasn't angry. I was still into it because it was fun, and I was like, then I embraced it because what am I going to do, get pissed? So then I'm waiting for the soda. I'm like, cool, bring on the soda. Let's do it. So they're rapping next to me, and then they're like kind of like yelling in my ears, like they're facing me, like stereo. One's in one ear and one's in the other, and they're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, as they're doing it, I'm not even looking, and then soda just pours all over me. Like I don't even see it coming. It just because they're still there. I'm like, oh, they're not gonna hit me while they're there. Splash, soda, just getting poured on my head. And I got to tell you, it's weird to have fucking soda poured on your head because it wasn't cold, like it was warm. So it feels like someone's pissing on your head, quite frankly. And I can't turn around, so that might have been what was going on. I got no fucking clue. But if they were pissing orange soda. So I'm leaning back, and it's I'm looking at the crowd, and they're either side of me rapping, and they're pouring soda all over me, and people are reaching out to ICP, and ICP's like shaking hands, and we have to make sure that they don't get pulled into the audience. It's that kind of deal. So the show's going on, and they're dumping soda, and I mean, when I say dumping soda, dudes, imagine like if every 3-minute song they unloaded 52 liters of soda on the crowd and us. I mean, and then the fans are like, going crazy, and then there's pouring Faygo. People brought Faygo in, and they're pouring it from the balcony onto the fans. The whole thing's a fucking zoo, and I'm soaked. You could wring out my shirt, like I'm sticky, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So then the audience kind of starts taunting, like the security guards, like they start reaching over the barrier and grabbing us, like grabbing our shirts and pulling us toward the crowd, like they're trying to get us in. And at first I thought it was just a game, like we were just having fun, you know what I mean, and that kind of deal. So and I would just, you're pushing their hands away or whatever, and then they're yelling, and then they're getting like kind of mouthy, and they're pointing, and they're like, fuck you, and they're pointing at us, and I'm like, all right, I hope the other fucking guys are seeing this is happening. And I look down at the end, and they're like 3 guys are pulling one of the security guards in, and he jerks back, and then we have to lean as far back as we can, and the show's going on. They're still dumping soda. So imagine this is all going on while the songs are playing, and there's soda and clowns and fucking craziness. And I should say this also, ICP, when they finished their first song, they said, hey, juggalos, whatever, and they go, let me tell you motherfucking juggalos one thing, don't fuck with these curtains. They told everybody not to touch the curtains, and nobody touched the curtains. Like, nobody did it. It was great. It was like, dude, they had full power over the juggalos. Good for them. So the show's going on. They're starting to try to pull us into the audience, and all of a sudden they come over by me, and they're rapping, and people start to stage dive. And they had told us that they wouldn't be doing that, but whatever. People stage dive, you grab them and you throw them back in the crowd. So people are stage diving by me, and we're just kind of keeping them, underway. And then a guy comes over the barrier, and I grab him and I throw him back in. So his friends grab him and they throw him back, and as they throw him back, Violent J, who's the bigger of the ICP, he comes over, and he goes to shake the guy's hand. So he's shaking the guy's hand. The guy's kind of half in the barrier and half not. So then he starts to climb up on the barrier to get on stage. And Violent J is giving him a hand. He's pulling him on stage. Now, we've been told, in addition to protect the curtains, nobody gets on fucking stage. And that's any show. That's fucking, like I said, Sepultura, fucking, Creed, Incubus, whoever the fuck is there, nobody gets on stage. Even if the singer is like, come on, nobody goes on stage. Because the second one guy gets on stage, there's too many other ways for people to get on stage, and then all of a sudden it turns into a huge thing, and then they can get backstage, and it's a fucking zoo. So nobody goes. So Violent J is giving this guy a hand, and his friends are giving him a boost. He's standing on the barrier, and he's kind of trying to get by me, and I get in between him and Violent J, and I'm like, you can't, and I'm shaking my head, and it's loud. Nobody can hear anything. Faygo soda, everything. And finally, Violent J goes to yank him, and I grab him, and I yank him out of Violent J's hand, and I throw him back into the fucking crowd. And as I do that, I lean back against the stage, and Violent J slaps me in the head. hard.
Oh my God.
I'm leaned back against the thing, and he cuffs me like hard in the ear on my right-hand side. And I fucking turn around and I look at him, and he goes, "What, motherfucker? What are you gonna fucking do about it? What, you fucking juggalos? You see this motherfucker? You see?" And all of a sudden it dawns on me, and I'm like, "Dude, no way!" I just started everything. I started everything. Because nobody gets on stage, man. You're not supposed to let anybody on stage. And he goes, "You see this motherfucker right here? He ain't gonna let a motherfucking juggalo on stage." And they're like, "Boo!" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, no!" And they go, "We gonna let him get away with that?" And they're like, "No!" And he goes, "Hey, man, anybody who gets past this motherfucker right here, anybody gets past this motherfucker, I am down with anybody who gets past this motherfucker right here."
Oh my God.
And I go, "You gotta be shitting me!" And I'm leaning up against the stage, and I honestly, I'm still eyeballing him because he fucking hit me, and I'm pissed. I mean, the guy hit me in front of everybody, and I think we've all heard how I deal well with that, and but I will tell you this. I was having a good time. I was having fun. I thought it was all fun until that dude tried to get on stage, and then I grabbed him, and I just fucking threw him back into the crowd, and then Violent J hits me, and then he calls me out in front of everyone, and basically puts a bounty on me that anybody who can slip past me he's down with. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they get to go camp at a special spot at the Juggalo house. I have no idea. All I know is I'm there now, and I'm covered in soda, but let's put it this way. I thought I was covered in soda. Okay? I throw a guy back into the crowd. Violent J calls me out and does all that shit, and I can't go after him, and I know I can't because, again, I'm not stupid. If I go after him, this whole place is going up. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I also have to guard this part of the stage. So I look at the other security guys, and it's funny. There's a guy, I told you, Roger, he's all the way down at the end. Big James is never in the pit. Big James is a floater. He takes care of stuff on the outside. But he should have been in the pit because he's fucking Big James. I need some backup here. But next to me was, oh, fuck, I can't remember his name. This is the guy who would go out on his girlfriend, and then I said to him, and I go, "Well, I just think of my wife with a dick in her mouth, and then I don't have to date anybody." And he just goes, "Ooh, fuck, what was his name? God damn it, I can't remember." He's on my immediate left, and he just fucking shaking his head. He's looking at me because he knows. We know. And he has a radio, so he radios Lewis. I can see that. Show continues, and I'm standing there, and the fans now are fucking pointing at me and yelling at me, and they all start trying to stage dive by me. So thank God he radioed Lewis, and as he's radioing behind me, 2 other security guys get on my side with me. So now we've got 10 guys in the pit. At least as far as I know, they might have put more in on the pit on the other side. I have no idea. But we got 10 guys in the pit, and these guys now they're coming in waves on my side. So we're grabbing people, and we're just throwing them in. We're grabbing people, we're throwing them back into the audience. And Violent J and Shaggy, they keep coming over to my stage, and they go, "Anybody who gets past this motherfucker," and then they walk off and they rap and they do their thing. And I see them with the Faygo, and they come over, and both of them are rapping by me, and they're dumping 2-liter bottles of Faygo just almost exclusively on me now. They're just pouring soda all over me, and this time it's freezing cold, like it's awesome freezing cold soda. So I'm kind of like, well, this is kind of fun still, even though I'm fucking gonna get my ass beat. And we're throwing dudes into the crowd. The Juggalos are fucking screaming at me and yelling. They got all the makeup on, and I look on the stage, and they have a garbage can. And they had been throwing like the bottles of the garbage in it. So then they take the garbage can and they dump it out. They dump all the 2-liter bottles out. And I'm throwing people into the crowd, and then the ICP's rapping, and the evil clowns are dancing around, and they're pouring Faygo. They're taking Faygo and they're pouring it in the garbage can, and they're dancing around, and they're pouring Faygo on the people in the pit, and the people are diving at me, and they're fucking yelling at me. And the guy rips my fucking shirt, which is hard to do. My shirt's wet, but because it's soaked. But as I'm in the crowd pushing people back, a guy grabs my shirt and he rips the collar of my fucking t-shirt, and I lean back. And I'm on stage again. They're pouring soda in the garbage can. They're all dancing around. They're fucking ICPing. And ICP comes over by me, Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope, and they're actually encouraging people. Like, they're reaching out to people behind me to get people on stage. And we're fighting it off. We're fighting it off. We're doing what we can. And all of a sudden, I look at the evil clowns, and they're holding the garbage can. And they're dancing around, and they come out and they dance over by me. Now, this is a garbage can that is not a wastebasket. This is an industrial size kitchen garbage can.
Oh, no.
They'd been pouring soda in it for 2 songs. It's full. I know it's full because 3 clowns dance over with it. They pick it up, and they pour it right on me. They dump an industrial-sized garbage can of Faygo. I mean, I literally, I'm Bill Parcells. Like, I get the Gatorade treatment. The place goes crazy. I mean, crazy. Oh my God! Like, because it must have looked awesome. I wish I'd have seen it because it was this huge depth charge fucking amount. It looked like, you never see when the planes are like fighting a forest fire and they drop the water from the plane. That's what it looked like. All I saw was this mask of like orange all in front of my face, and it was in my ears. Like, my ears were filled with soda. I thought I was soaked before. Literally, you could wring my shirt out and fill a 2-liter bottle of soda. It was crazy. And they made sure to do it when the other two bouncers were like pushing people into the crowd. So I was leaning against the stage and whoosh, I got blasted. Place goes up for fucking grabs. And they continue with the show, and nobody got past us. They kept trying. They kept fucking trying, but nobody got on stage. And they finally finished the fucking show. And then they finished the show, and they come over and they go, oh, Juggalos, remember this motherfucker right here. Remember his face, this motherfucker. And then they walk off. They're done. And I'm in the pit, soaked in fucking soda. All the other guys are soaked. And it's like a war, man. I mean, it's just like it was crazy. And the show ends and the lights come up, and I'm waiting to get punched. Like, I'm fully waiting to get fucking blasted. So I'm standing in the pit, and all the other Juggalos are there. And the Juggalos all, like, look around, and they go, oh, man, that was awesome. And they want to shake my hand. They're nice. They go, dude, they dumped that whole garbage can on you. That was fucking hilarious. And they're high-fiving me like the Juggalos are my friends. Because they thought, I thought they were going to beat me up and be mad, but no, they thought it was awesome. Like I was in the show, I guess. I don't know what they thought. I guess they just thought it was neat that Violent J and Shaggy Two picked me out to be that guy. And now I wonder, does that happen every show? Do they pick one bouncer where he's the fucking guy and everybody gets mad at him? I don't know what the fuck it was. All I know is everybody's high-fiving me, and I should say one guy high-fived me, and then my hand stuck to him because we're both covered in fucking soda. And then we had to get an adhesive and a torch to get fucking free us. But all the Juggalos then they were like really nice. They didn't trash the building. They didn't destroy anything. There's soda and shit and bottles or not bottles, like plastic cups and shit all over the place and plastic Faygo bottles. But they were like really nice and well behaved. Like they weren't mean. All the threats of we're going to fuck this place up were it seemed like unfounded. They didn't do anything wrong. And so I'm sitting there, I'm soaked in soda, and I look, and Big James is a floater on the floor, and he's, the people, I'll tell you this too, they left in like an orderly fashion. They were done, and rightfully so, because they're exhausted from the fucking ICP show. It's an event. These people are jumping and screaming and yelling and covered in soda, and at the end, you're spent, man. You just want to get a fucking shower because you're so fucking sticky. And I did too. I had a priority list. I'm like, fuck, I got to get a shower. I got to change clothes. But first, I'm fucking going upstairs and having a little talk with fucking Violent J. So I look at Big James and I go, you want to come with me? He goes, where are you going? And I go, that fucking guy punched me while I was on stage. Let's go. I'm going to fucking have a chat with him. And he's like, well, let's fucking go. So me and Big James go upstairs. And I will say that the upstairs is full of people. They have a huge posse. They've got, it's an insane clown posse. That's what they have. So I'm sure Twisted and all these other motherfuckers are there, but they're not wearing their makeup. But some people are wearing makeup, and it's a crazy thing. And I go up the back entrance, and I'm hulked out. I'm crazy steaming. And James and I walk through the back, and as I'm making my way, Lewis, the upstairs, you have to go through a long hallway to get to the dressing rooms. And to get there's a foundation room across from the dressing rooms. So I'm walking, and as I'm fucking just cutting away, move, like I'm walking through the hallway. And Lewis walks out of the kitchen, and he puts his hand on my chest. He goes, stop. I go, what? And he goes, stop what you're doing. I go, dude, that guy punched me in the fucking head. And he goes, I know. He goes, I heard. But everything's fine. It's part of the show, and you're not going and talking to him. I go, I just want to go tell him how fucking uncool that was, dude. I mean, and he goes, you're not doing it. I go, Lewis, listen to me. All right, you know me. I don't get fucking crazy. Although a few weeks later, I wound up ramming the guy's head into the fucking corrugated steel and cutting it open. But I said, look, you know me. I don't get fucking crazy. All right, I just want to have a talk with the guy. And he looks at me and he goes, Mike, it's not going to happen. He goes, if you go in there and you say the wrong thing, all of these people are going to want to fucking fight. He goes, and I'm not having it. He goes, I can't believe we got these people out of the building without there being a problem. Let them do their thing and have their party, and you just go home. I go, well, no, I'll wait till the building's fucking closed. I'm not a pussy. I mean, I'll finish my shift. He goes, dude, I'm telling you, go home. I don't want you here. I don't want you seeing them. You're in no shape to talk to anybody, and you're not going to be any good to me. I just went, all right, fine. He goes, you cool with this? And I go, no, but I mean, if that's what you want, that's fine. So he walks me to the door, which the door goes to the porch of the House of Blues. And outside there's a bunch of juggalos. You can see him, and it's just me and Lewis. And he goes, look, I know you're mad. Don't worry about it. Part of the show. Everybody's going to be fine, and you just go home. Kick off early. We'll see you tomorrow. And I go, well, I'm not here tomorrow. And he goes, well, whatever. I'll fucking see you later in the week. Go. I said, all right. So he closes the door. I'm out there on the porch, and I got to walk to my car now, and it's just me and the juggalos. So I walk out onto the street, and I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be trouble or not trouble. All it takes is one juggalo, folks. It says only you can prevent juggalos. So all it takes is one of them to have a problem. So I walk off the porch. I'm out on Sunset Boulevard, and they see me, and they're like, hey, hey, and they're high-fiving me, and they're being friendly and nice, and they're all friendly. It's almost like you know what the juggalos are? They're our gang, but they just... They're like all friends, and they wear like funny makeup, and they like bands, and that's what they like. That's who they are. That's fine. You can't be angry at them for that. We all like stupid shit. So I walk out, and they're high-fiving me, and they're being friendly and cool. And I will say there's wind, like the wind is blowing. So I'm covered in soda, and the wind is blowing me. So now I'm even stickier. Like it's just like I'm a human candle as I'm walking. I feel like I got dipped in syrup, and I'm shaking everybody's hand. And everybody's very friendly. So I walk, and I have to go to the parking lot because you had to park off-site. And as I'm walking down Sunset Boulevard, I keep hearing a noise, and I don't know what it is. It just sounds like it's like this as I'm walking to my car. And it was so fun. It's funny. If I would have known about anybody killer's speech impediment at the time, I would have thought maybe he was sneaking up on me and following me to my fucking car. Maybe it's him. He's out there fucking running his saliva through his S's, and he's going to jump me in my goddamn vehicle. I don't know. But instead, I'm walking, I keep hearing, and I can't figure out what it is. And then it dawns on me, that's the sound of fucking socks filled with orange Faygo. As you squish and walk your way through fucking swamp foot back to your goddamn car. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can get me at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can get me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow our friend Lily Von Stupp at Twitter at Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp or at Twitter.com/MNTs. You can also find Lily at Burlesque411.com, right? You can go there. And if you want to write her a note, if you don't want to just read about her, if you want to write her a special note, you can write her at Lily at Burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at Burlesque411.com.
Zazzle.com/40-year-old boy. Please buy all his stuff.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Tease, LA's longest running and most successful and interesting burlesque show, which of course always has fresh and exciting shit to do all around the fucking Clizock. Lily? Lily?
Yes,
Who would be coming to the gathering of the breastises?
we have a great host. We have Buster Balloon hosting for us.
Okay.
We have...
He's a balloon guy, tricks and all that kind of neat stuff?
Yeah.
Very cool.
He's one of the guys that gets inside the giant balloon.
Oh, okay.
Pretty fucking awesome.
That's where the show for the ACP was held, at the House of Blues. Buster came, he inflated a giant balloon, we moved the whole venue inside. That worked out perfect.
Sweet Chili is with us from Germany.
Will Sweet Sugar Slam be there?
No.
Damn it.
No, she won't.
Sweet Chili from Germany.
Sweet Chili from Germany, and we have...
Is that a debut for her here?
Yeah, that's her U.S. debut.
Oh, it's a U.S. debut, not just Monday Night Tease.
Yeah, and then we have from Chicago making her L.A. debut, Juju Minx with 3 X's.
Oh, Juju Minx with 3 X's.
And then we also have an Australian magician joining us, and I feel terrible because I can't remember his name. It's like Christopher Hogsworth.
Oh, all right.
I know.
That's where Harry Potter went to school, right?
No, he went to school in Hogwarts.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I have never read those books, never seen those movies. And I don't say that as a badge of honor. I'm not proud of it. I probably should have done those things, but...
Dumbledore dies on page
I don't know any of that. That's the worst. Don't even say that. Take that back. Lily and I have a mutual acquaintance who bought a shirt
I don't think he's an acquaintance.
that gave away a plot point in the Harry Potter movies, and he wore the shirt, and I was infuriated. I don't understand that sort of logic. I don't know why you would wear an item of clothing that ruins people's good times. Makes no sense. So we've got Hogsworth is going to be there. He's a magician. And then Buster Balloon, and then your sweet chili, and then Jinxie Minxie. Who's that?
Juju Minx.
Juju Minx. And are you dancing? Or
I am not this Monday.
I see.
I am preparing for Tarantino.
That's coming up. That would be August 23rd, the Quentin Tarantino Inglorious Burlesque tribute show that Lily's put on so successfully at the 3 clubs. The Monday Night Teas, that's the 3 clubs every Monday night at 10 o'clock. This week, again, who's going to be there, we told you. But then next week, why are you giving the shifty eye? What's going on? Well, because when you talk, I want people to be able to hear you, because it's dumb for me to repeat everything that you say.
I'm a loudmouth.
All right. So remind you folks, go to the 3 clubs for the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at 10 o'clock, especially for Inglorious Burlesque on August 23rd. That'll be a fantastic show. Tickets are available for that at brownpapertickets.com.
Oh, yeah.
Tickets are also available at brownpaperticket.com for the one-man show, which is going to be in San Francisco August 20th and 21st. That's next week. Unbelievably, astonishingly, surprisingly, at the Darkroom Theater in San Francisco, California. Make sure you go to that. If you can go, tickets are available at Brown Paper Tickets. The link is always available on my Facebook page. There's also a Facebook page for it, I believe, as well as a Facebook page for a show that I'm doing this weekend in Los Angeles at the Avery Schreiber Theater in North Hollywood, California. That's on Magnolia. The address is... where is that address? 11050 Magnolia Boulevard, North Hollywood, California. Now, I will tell you, the Avery Schreiber Theater has like 3 different spaces on Magnolia. We're in the space called Avery's Alley, and it is a very small space. There are only 29 seats. There's folding chairs that they will put out if we get more than 29, but believe me, we're not going to get more than 29 fucking people in this joint. But if you do come to the show, that's great. Again, there will be 29 people. And I will tell you again, the very funny Paul Goebel is hosting and doing stand-up. And he's the king of TV, Paul Goebel, by the way. Go check out his podcast, The Paul Goebel Show. He and Jim Bruce, his best friend, who he swears at. And also comedian Scott Boxenbaum is going to be there doing a set. I'm excited that those guys have agreed to do it, and thank them very much. So come on out. And after that, I will go up, and I'm going to do a mix of stuff. I'm going to be doing some stand-up, and then I'll be doing stories from the show. It's basically a workshop for me to get used to being on stage for any length of time. It'll essentially be like, I was calling it a night with Mike Schmidt to be an idiot, but that's what it is. I mean, you'll be in a room, and I'll be talking. I mean, it won't be any, some of it will be just stand-up, some of it will be this kind of stuff. It'll be almost like the podcast live, trying to be anyway. And again, I'm dudes, I am freaked. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am freaked. I haven't been able to I haven't got on stage. I got the show next week. I got this show. Come on out, have a good time, and enjoy it. Enjoy Scott and Paul, and I'll be there as well. So that'll be fun. Don't forget to go to burlesquebears.com for any of your teddy bear slut needs. There's a bunch of bears there. They're fun and they're exciting. Lily has put them together, and she hand makes them. So go check out the burlesquebears.com. Also, remember to, if you need a trainer, my friend Sean Richardson is training me at realworldfit.com. That's twitter.com/realworldfit. You can follow him as he talks about how I'm fat. And I'm sure he talks about other things. What if he only tweeted about me and my fatness? That would be horrendous. I would hate it. Also, hey, there's a podcast I want you folks to give a shot at, and it's my friend Eric Butterfield, who produced this show, and I wouldn't be doing this show without him. Eric has a podcast his own called 6 Billion Voices, and it's available on iTunes, so go find 6 Billion Voices. And I'm not sure if there are 6 billion voices, although let's put it this way. I'm sure that his wife would tolerate 6 billion voices before she would ever tolerate me being involved again with Eric. If he went to her and he said, "Hey, honey, now it's 6,000,001 voices," and she'd say, "Who's the one?" He'd say, "Mike," and she'd say, "Hey, we're getting divorced." So go and check out 6 Billion Voices. That's my friend Eric's podcast. And let's see. Oh, and also Avery. I've covered everything, haven't I? I've covered it all. So I work out. I'm lifting with Sean, and I'm sore. And we've been at the secular gym, which I enjoy. I don't care so much for the Lord's gym, and I wrote a blog about it last week because the Lord's gym has prying eyes of the Lord's flock. I don't need a bunch of cholos watching me not do a push-up. That's fucking terrible. But when I worked out at the gym, like I tried to get them to go to My Bally's, but they won't let you bring a trainer friend of yours there. Like you have to use their trainers, which is too bad because I love to go to Bally's because I love the steam room. Jesus Christ, do I love the steam room. There, there's like, I don't care so much for the sauna, but did you see what happened at the sauna championships? There's a thing called the World Sauna Championships, and folks, a guy died at the World Sauna Championships. That's not funny, but it's funny. Come on, let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, Jesus Christ. They showed the guy. Apparently, two guys got into a room, and it was like 238 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's one guy who's like the ultra champion of sauna, which means basically it's a guy who can sit down. He can sit on his ass in the heat. That's it. But he's the ultra grand champion of it. He's awesome. And he's in there finally against some 60-year-old Russian guy, and they both start getting sick. And I think actually one of them caught fire, like burst into flames. And they're like, dude, you got to get out of there. And the champion's like, I'm not leaving until he leaves because I'm the champion. Ha! It's like, all right, dude. So they finally have to drag them out of there, and they drag the Russian guy out first. So I guess technically the Finnish guy is still the world champion of sauna, even though he's now in a hospital. But actually he is the world champion because the other guy died, the guy from Russia. And then they showed the picture of him, and dude, Karen and I looked at it. Oh, my God. Did you see the pictures? Gee, folks, I love the sauna and the steam room, but I might have to reconsider after seeing these two dudes because they dragged them out of the room. And granted, I'm not in a room that's fucking 238 degrees, but that Russian guy's laying on the ground and his skin is like, it was all brown and like kind of, but then he's beet red. You know what it looked like? He looked like bologna wrapped in packing tape. That's what he looked like. Why do I spit out this random bullshit that nobody fucking cares about? I am peddling obscenity. I am going to get a whole fucking army of you people, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to listen to me and then do nothing for an entire fucking week. I can't be trusted. Don't you people know this? It was like the Back to the Future of suck. I don't want to have a boner in somebody else's pants. I need to shoot up heroin and jog. Hey, ass fuck, are you listening to anything that I'm saying to you? Fuck, somebody's got to shut that old guy up. And I'm like, fuck you! I'm not a potato! I'm a goddamn cantaloupe! Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.